tag us in any tweets you want us to react to, and we'll get them up. Alex THFC says, does no one know how Conte operates? He's literally like this in every job, acts extremely bipolar and always feels on the edge of crisis. It's just how he works, and he's always thrived off it. He's not walking before the summer.
I mean, last night...
Just roll up so they can read that.
Oh, sorry.
So last night it was...
yeah, sorry. Yeah, you go.
I was like kind of thinking, yeah, maybe he will walk before even the weekend. But after thinking about it a bit, I don't think he's walking. I think if he does walk, it will be in the summer because that's an actual way how this club can change is if we act in the summer. We can't act now and change things. That's gone
I don't think he's... Well, I don't think he'll walk. Well, it depends. Look, if results really do continue on this spiral, he might well walk. But I don't think as things stand at the moment he will. I expect results to improve. I don't think we're going to lose every game from now to the end of the season just because we're losing 4 out of 5 games. I think we will turn results around. But yeah, I don't expect him to walk now. But he might walk. If we literally on a run of like 10 games where we're not winning, then maybe he would. But I don't think that situation will come. Well, bloody hope that won't come. Salish says, look at the last 3 managers. We were top of the league after 10 games, and eventually Mourinho was sacked. Nuno was manager of the month and then sacked later. Conte had a great initial run, and we're reset to Spurs mode. We need full investment.
How many times this club and these sets of players, they can go on a run. There's no problem about that. You know, they can start off when a new manager comes in, a new manager bounce like most teams do have. But unfortunately, everything always reverts back to type.
Yeah,
and that's the situation we're in.
Seems to happen. Charlie Eccleshare says Tottenham Hotspur this season under Nuno, 10 games, 15 points, 1.5 points per game. Under Conte, 14 games, 24 points, 1.7 points per game. A few more losses and he's getting into Nuno form.
Yeah, so true.
YL says Levy isn't the reason Conte didn't sanction the Adama deal. Levy isn't the reason Conte is stubborn with 3-4-3. Levy isn't the reason Emerson is at the club. Levy isn't the reason we got outclassed at home by Wolves and Southampton. For once, blame others and not only him.
All right, so let's take that step by step. What's the first step?
Levy isn't the reason Conte didn't sanction the Adama deal.
Okay, fine. But Conte, it was nothing to do about Conte. Adama wanted to go to Barcelona. Okay? I hate all this stuff like saying, we didn't act quick enough with Adama. Adama was clearly playing us and he knew Barcelona were interested or something like that. I don't believe for a second that we didn't sanction a deal for Adama. And I don't think it's Levy's or Conte's fault why we didn't get Adama. I think Adama just played us and went to Barcelona.
Right.
Next one.
Levy isn't the reason Conte is stubborn with 3-4-3.
Well, he kind of is because he sold 4 of our midfielders, which makes it increasingly hard to play a 3-5-2.
Yeah, because if he plays 3-5-2 and then one gets injured, we have to go back to 3-4-3 anyway. So that might as well be our main formation.
So go on, next.
Levy isn't the reason Emerson is at the club.
Is he not?
He probably, knowing Levy, he probably is.
I mean, first of all, Levy's the one that hired Paratici anyway, so kind of is in the long run. But when you're looking at Levy's not the reason why Emerson Royale's at the club, Levy's the reason why Kyle Walker left this club, and Levy's the reason why the right back situation has got worse and worse and worse and worse since then.
Mm-hmm. And here's the reason why we're scrambling around on deadline day for a Barcelona reserve or right back, where, you know, if we dealt with what, you know, I'm sure we had other options, first choice options. I'm not saying like we didn't do well at the time to get Emerson in, but I'm just saying he was a deadline day signing, lastminute.com, where maybe early in the window we could have gone for our first choice options or right back, that we could have got someone better suited. And so he is kind of the reason Emerson's there. Levy isn't the reason we got outclassed at home by Wolves and Southampton.
Again, yes, he is, because of the state of the squad. How many managers are going to call for a rebuild? How many managers are going to get thrown under the bus until Levy's held accountable for it? He's the reason why this Pochettino team fell apart. He is the reason. So when you're looking at short-term reasons, maybe he's not the short-term reason in terms of the tactics deployed on the day or that kind of stuff. But when you're looking at the bigger picture, it always comes back to Daniel Levy. Always.
Agreed. That was just more. That's Romano quoting more quotes here. So here's a image. Says, never ask a woman her age, never ask a man his salary, and never ask Antonio Conte anything about Tottenham Hotspur. Nice one.
Literally, he's there for a press conference of the game, and usually managers are being like, don't ask me all these surrounding questions, just let's focus on the football. And Antonio was like, look, fuck the game. We need to focus on the real problems here.
Exactly. Lovely stuff. I like that. N17 Way says, be shocked if Conte walks, but if he does, it reflects worse on him. He got a January window and we let 4 players go who he didn't want. All well and good saying they're all shit, but 3 days ago you loved them. Finish as high as possible and force the club to back you. Stop talking.
I mean, to some degree, in terms of stop talking, just do the best you can. I mean, that's all he can do at this stage because the transfer window's shut. I think it would have come a lot better if these kind of comments came either within the transfer window or before the transfer window. But right now, I mean, there's nothing anyone can really do to change the situation.
No, really not. It's up to the players at this point. Adam Nathan says, we had a really good 25 minutes to the start, the second half. Then Sessegnon, the all-time worst, gives away a stupid free kick. Hugo does his thing, and we haven't won a second ball since. We weren't even bad. We've just wasted a whole game that was there to be won.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mayo Abiegu says, am I the only one taking this, this is on Conte's presser, he says, am I the only one taking this as the board are holding the club back, but I just won't sit down and collect my paycheck. I'll keep trying to change this around. That's what I'm hearing, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, to a certain extent, yeah. I did kind of take that from the interview, but on the other side, he's also saying that maybe he can't change this around, and maybe the club won't let him change it around, and ultimately he will have to end up leaving the club.
Yeah, but he's saying he reads into that. That's what he's trying to say by saying that.
Yeah, and I think that's true.
Yeah, I think that's also mostly what I'm hearing from when he says that. I think it's more shot to the ball than anything. Seb Jenkins says, for whatever reason, Spurs just don't have it in them to control these types of games from the start and take it to the opposition. I know we are away, but the same thing happens at home. We let the opposition go through the gears and react rather than be proactive. Sorry.
Can you read that one again?
He says, I know we are away, but the same thing happens at home. We let the opposition go through the gears and react rather than be proactive. He says we don't have it in us to control these types of games.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue against it, to be honest. I really can't. I mean, the only games that we can seem to really control is up against like a really poor side that come to our stadium, or a side that plays a really high line, really.
Yeah, at the moment, it's difficult for us to control and consistently create chances against that kind of opposition. Nathan Clark says, Couto Romero is a rare centre-back who visibly loves every second of being one. Very true. David Ellis says, okay, Conte clearly upset and this is damaging a clearly proud man, but he took the job. He will have had assurances about money. He knew it was not so much about now, more about next year. It would say more about him than anyone now if he threw the towel in. Get on with it.
Yeah, you say get on with it, but we've said like quite consistently, if we don't get into the top 4 this season, then what are we even hoping for in the summer?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because if Kane gets antsy, you know, and he wants a transfer, and then we go through that whole thing again, and then he starts the next season poorly and all that kind of stuff, and he pushes for a move. But not just that, it's like what player, real player, what top quality player would want to come here in the summer anyway if we're not into the top 4?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to. It's good. It makes the pool a lot harder to choose from, for sure.
I mean, you can bring players here, but you need to play top whack for them, and we're not going to be doing that.
Exactly, and then it becomes a whole narrative. Oh, do we just sign anyone, or do we wait for the right player? And if we're waiting for the right player, we're just going to keep playing with the players we have. You know what I mean? That's constantly what happens. P says, I really don't give a toss what anyone says, but Conte should be getting a lot more from these lot against Southampton, Wolves, Burnley. This simply isn't good enough.
Again, I'm refusing. Look, let's put it this way. Yeah, Conte does not relieve himself from any blame, because there is obviously blame on all parts. There's blames on the player, there's blames on the manager, there's blames on the hierarchy, right? But you cannot put this all on Conte. You can't, because the same things happen under every single manager. So I mean, how many times are we just going to be like, yes, it's your fault, yes, it's your fault, yes, it's your fault, before making the real people that actually put us in this mess accountable? We can't keep blaming managers. We just can't.
Especially managers who've been massive successes everywhere they've been, and they just happen to be only about a terrible job at Tottenham.
Exactly.
Like, come on, at what point do we start realising that we have big issues here? And you know, you can disrespect these clubs. Southampton, Wolves, they're not easy teams to play against, and everyone knows Burnley's a tough place to go. So maybe this is the best we can do against these kind of opposition under those circumstances.
And also, when you look at it, I'm seeing people last night, people on TalkSport saying, "Oh, if West Ham, if Moyes can get a tune out of West Ham and all this kind of stuff, then why can't Conte get a tune out of Tottenham? The squad at Tottenham is better at West Ham." West Ham lost to Southampton at home. West Ham lost to Wolves. West Ham drew with Burnley. So I mean, it's the same shit. So I don't understand that narrative.
Yeah, I agree. Trevor Lloyd says, I'm not going to dig out Conte for his comments. I love what he said, and it's what I've wanted to hear from managers since the summer. We signed no one. No holds barred on them rats in charge of the club. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Maya Graham says Tottenham Hotspur are absolutely hands down the worst football club in the world to support.
100%. And I said that after the Man City game. What did I say to you after the Man City game? I hate this football club.
Because every time you're at your lowest, they drag you back in. And then once you're at your highest, they take it away from you again. Manny Saini says Royale, Sessegnon, Davis, Winks do not get in the Burnley side, and that's where the problems lie. Conte will be judged next season after the summer window. In the meantime, it's a bumpy road ahead.
Yeah. Do they not get into the Burnley side? I mean, maybe not.
I think that's,
maybe not.
What, does Roberts get into a right back for us? I'm trying to think. Winks, I think, is better than Cork and Brownhill.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Sessegnon, who played left back for them? Eric Peters.
I think Royale and Sessegnon both gets into that team, to be fair.
Yeah, I actually quite like that Roberts. I don't know, Roberts, he's quite decent. He might get into our team. But Peters, I don't think Eric Peters does. Henry Winter says, Antonio Conte is one of the best things to happen to Tottenham in years. He's a brilliant coach / tactician. Players want to play for him. He's box office. Fans love him, and he talks so much sense about Spurs' issues. Levy has to work with Conte to drive the club forward. Don't lose him.
That I can't agree with anything more than that.
Yeah,
that's absolutely spot on the money.
Dan Kilpatrick says, probably the key quote from Conte, I'm too honest to close my eyes. You understand, and to continue to say, okay, I want to finish the season in this way, and okay, my salary is good. I'm not that type of person. I have ambition. I think that's the key quote in terms of why he's going public. I think he doesn't want Tottenham to go from now to the end of the season without him saying anything and to just drift into a mid-table position. He won't accept that. He won't accept that.
Yeah.
Euro expert says Conte at the weekend, best players I've ever worked with. Today is a massive contradiction or Conte-diction. If I was Spurs, I'd feel lost and pissed over this.
I mean, I am lost and pissed over this, but I think the way you explained it just a bit before about the comments, I think was bang on the money and spot on, to be honest.
Yeah, I never read into what he said best players I've worked with, because he's continually said the quality is not so high. So I doubt he's going to just quickly switch and say, oh, all of a sudden this is the best set of players I've worked with quality. But I just think in terms of willing to work and that kind of thing. That's what he means by that. This is a Del Piero quote we were talking about before. I was in London to beat Conte a few weeks ago, and he was super happy about Tottenham board and facilities and stadium. I feel the problem is about players. He needs to win titles. They sold 4 players in Jan and only signed 2, which indicates to me that Conte sees that as a problem.
Yeah.
Cody Mack says the Conte dilemma summarised. Nothing has changed at the club, and that's the problem. There's been no commitment from the club to change the situation quickly. Conte has no patience, does not want to waste his or the club's time or money. January wasn't enough, not even close.
Yeah. And yeah, another one that's spot on, to be honest. Conte has never really had the need to be patient anywhere he went, because he's gone to clubs. Why'd you sign Conte? Because you want to win now. You want to make a big change now. You want to improve massively or dramatically what's going on that football pitch. Look at Chelsea. He came in when they were 10th in the league. Yes, I know they've got a better kind of infrastructure around buying players and stuff like that at the club, but ultimately he came in when they were 10th in the league and went on to win the league. Not in his first season, but in the next season, right? He went on to win the league.
Yeah.
Inter Milan, they hadn't won for ages. He goes in there, he gets what he needs, and he wins the league. At Juventus, they weren't exactly going through a great time as well. He gets what he needs, he goes in there, and he wins the league. So unless he gets what he needs, what's the point of him being here?
Yeah, agreed. That was the whole point of him signing, and we thought the mentality was going to change, but clearly it hasn't. Jack Law says Jose lost to Everton, Antwerp, Leicester, Brighton, West Ham, Arsenal and Zagreb. Nuno lost to Passos, Palace, Arsenal, Vitesse and West Ham. Conte lost to Mura, Southampton, Wolves and Burnley. Common denominator are shit overrated players. Until they go, nothing changes.
Yeah. We've said that quite consistently here.
Why Conte, Nuno and Bruno Poch were set up to fail at Tottenham, a thread. We can't go into a thread right now.
This is a long thread. It's a very long thread.
But you go check that out at the Portuguesa if you want to check out the thread. Maybe we'll go do one. We'll go for it one day, but not right now.
One day. One day, Ramos.
HLTCO, the Palace fan, says it's hard not to feel for Spurs fans. Just days after scoring a 95th minute winner away at Man City and experiencing that rare sense of pure euphoria, they're brought back down to earth with a 1-0 defeat at a drenched Turf Moor. It's as if they're never allowed to be truly happy. Pretty much sums up.
That is a Spurs fan summed
We're
up.
we're never allowed to be truly happy.
We are a cursed football club.
Exactly.
Cursed by Daniel Levy.
It's like enjoy the wins now because that loss is around the corner.
And no Spurs fan in their right mind, no Spurs fan that has been around the block a few times with Spurs with this football club was confident of this Burnley game.
Yeah, everyone said it.
City game.
Everyone said it. Well, it's the Spurs' thing to beat City and lose to Burnley. We actually won and did it.
Not only that, but to lose the previous games like we did as well.
Yeah. All right, that's all for Twitter from now. Let us know if there's anything else you want us to react to and we can bring it up. But that's all. That's all for now, the tweets.